Alright everybody, here is your lesson on percents. In this lesson we're going to discuss how to change percents into fractions, how to change percents into decimals, and vice versa. Decimals into percents, fractions into percents, and all those combinations. Okay, so what is a percent? Now go ahead and write this in your notes. A percent is a ratio, a special ratio that compares a number to 100. The word percent literally means, if you take out the Latin roots of it, literally means per hundred, out of 100, or of 100. For example, 47% is simply another way of writing the fraction 47 hundredths. And I thought it'd be interesting to just kind of go over a few things here. Some words, some common words that you see that have cent in their name that have to do with 100. For instance, a century is 100 years. A centimeter is 1/100th of a meter. It takes 100 centimeters to equal a meter. A cent, 1 cent, is 1/100th of a dollar. Centurion, if you know your Roman history, a centurion is a commander who's in charge of 100 soldiers. It's kind of like the what do you call it? The Navy SEALs, of the Roman days. Centipedes, that's 100 legs, even though I don't think they have 100 legs. And a centennial is kind of like a century, but it's like more of a 100-year anniversary. Okay, so let's just go ahead and dive right in here into our first examples. And let's start out with 26%. Now 26%, like I said earlier, when you're comparing, or when you're writing a percent, or when you're expressing a percent, you're comparing it to 100. So 26% literally means 26 out of 100. And I bet you're asking yourself right now, should I reduce that? I hope he doesn't ask me to reduce. Please don't ask me to reduce. But yes, you better reduce. 13/50ths, there you go. So I just divided by 2. It's not that hard to reduce. It's pretty simple. All right, now 40% literally means 40/100ths. And then let's just divide by 2 and you get 20/50ths. Divide by 2 again and you get 10/25ths. And then at this point you can't divide by 2 because 25 is not divisible by 2. So that doesn't mean you're done. It just means we can't use 2 anymore. So what goes into 10 and 25? What goes into 10 and 25? If you're saying or thinking 5, then you're right. So 10 divided by 5 is 2, and 25 divided by 5 is 5. There you have it. So 76% starts out as 76 hundredths, and I'm going to divide by 2 again. I get 38/50ths. Looks like I could still divide by 2, and you get 19/25ths. And there you have it. That's it. That's as far as you can go. So you might have received a quiz, or a test back, and you got 19 points out of 25, and your teacher wrote 76%. So you just missed a B. If you got 20 over 25, you would have gotten an 80%. So 160% is no different than any of the other problems here. Just divide by 100. So 160 hundredths. Just put 100 in the denominator. Divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 5. And you get 8/5ths. What does 8/5ths turn into? Well, just do 8 divided by 5, right? 8 divided by 5. How many times does 5 go in 8? 1, right? 1 time. And then what's your remainder? 3/5ths. There you go. So 1 3/5ths. At this point, just go ahead and pause the video and just jot some of this information down, and then put those in your notes. Okay, so here's some examples for you. Why don't you go ahead and pause the video whenever you're ready, and then when you're done with these problems, unpause it and check to see how you did. Okay, if you unpaused it, here are the answers. 23% is 23 hundredths, does not reduce. 80% is 4/5ths. 55% is 11/20ths. 12% is 3/25ths. 17% is 17 hundredths. And 36% is 9/25ths. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about doing these the other way around. Let's say we have to change a fraction into a decimal, which is going to be one of the important steps. So now you have 3/4. Well, actually, let me just go ahead and talk about these notes here. to change a fraction into a decimal, you divide the top number, the numerator, by the bottom number. For example, to change 3/4 into a decimal, you would divide 3 by 4. So top, I usually say this in class, I don't know if Mr. Gasson does this, but I always say top divided by bottom, top divided by bottom. So 3 divided by 4, when you do the math, comes out to 0.75. Now, if you want to change a percent into a decimal, all you have to do is divide by 100. For instance, 35% as a fraction is 35 hundredths. So you would change this into a decimal basically by dividing 35 by 100. So the decimal was here, and then it went over here. So really what happened was the decimal moved over 2 places. That's as far as it moved, 2 places. That's what happens when you divide by 100. When you multiply by 100, it moves over 2 to the right. When you divide by 100, it moves over 2 to the left. And that's kind of the magic number you always want to keep in mind when you guys are doing or dealing with decimals and percents, which is you're always going to move the decimal 2 places. It's either going to move right or it's going to move left. And in this instance, it moves to the left. It was here, and then it moved over 2 places to the left. So how far does it move? Yes, you are correct. 2 places to the left. Okay, so just like you would with changing a percent into a decimal, you would do the same when changing a decimal into a percent. But this time it's going to the right. So you're going from where it's a decimal to where it's a percent. So to change a decimal into percent, we multiply by 100. So it gets 100 times bigger. So the decimal moves from here, and then it moves over 2 places. 1, 2. There you go. So the decimal was here, boop, boop, and now it's there. Now you don't need to show it because it's a whole number now. But 23% is the answer. Here's something of a review here for you. Some things that we've covered. A percent is, right here, percent is a special fraction. 23% means 23 hundredths. If you want to change a decimal to a percent, you multiply by 100. If you want to change a percent to a decimal, you divide by 100. Okay, on this slide, why don't you go ahead and, in your notes, jot these down, give these a try, and just, with this column right here, percents, change these to decimals, and if it's a decimal, change it to percent. Go ahead and pause the video whenever you're ready, and then unpause it when you're ready to check your answers and see how you're doing. Try not to just copy what's up here. Try to actually figure these out. You want to learn these things. Okay, so if you're ready to check these, here we go. And there you have it. Okay, so here is the last part of this lesson right here. So let's put all of our skills together that you've learned. And what we have is, in all these examples here, is in every instance, I'm only giving you one thing. In number 1, I'm only giving you the decimal. In number 2, I'm only giving you the percent. And in number 3, I'm only giving you the fraction. So just given that one thing, tell me what the percent is. Tell me what the fraction is. Right here, if I give you the percent, tell me what the decimal and fraction is. Number 3, if I give you the fraction, can you tell me what the decimal and the percent is? So how about I just go through the first 3 or 4 with you, and you can try the rest on your own. So, all right, we have 45%. So to change that to a percent, you take that decimal and you move it. Where's it going to move? How far is that decimal going to move? It's going to move over, what, 5 places? 100 places? No. It's going to move over 2 places. So you should get 45%. Now, if you want to go ahead and write 45.0%, you're not wrong. That's perfectly acceptable. Write 45.0. show me that the decimal is right there. There's nothing wrong with that. No math teacher is ever going to be upset that you did that. Now to change 45% to a fraction, it needs to be understood that 45% means 45 out of, what does that mean? 100, that's right. 45 out of 100. Now can that be reduced? Of course it can. So divide by 5 and you get 9/20. Okay? Now in the second example here, we have 32%, and where is the decimal right now? I don't see it, but it's right there. It is. It's just implied. You just have to know it's always there. If it's a whole number, we know it's there. You just don't have to show it. So let's go ahead and change this to a decimal first, and then a fraction. Really, we can go either way. We can change it to a fraction if we want, and then change it to a decimal. There's nothing wrong with that. But let's move the decimal over how far? That's right, 2 places to the left. So 32% is 32 hundredths. And then let's change that. Let's change this decimal into a fraction. Now here's another thing that I didn't talk about yet, but if you say the decimal the right way, you're also saying the fraction. So how do you say this? Instead of saying 0.32, you would actually say 32 hundredths. So there's your fraction, 32 hundredths. And then you can divide by a certain number and get it into lowest terms. What goes into 32 and 100 besides 2? I can think of a bigger number. 4. Yep. 32 divided by 4 and 100 divided by 4. And there you have it, 8/25. Okay, the next example here, I would say people, my students usually have the toughest time with this. They have a fraction and you want to change it to a percent and a decimal. Now here's the deal. You don't have to go from here to here to here. You can skip some steps. You can go from here to here to here. You don't have to go in a linear fashion from here to here. You don't have to go left to right or right to left. So 17/25, just do top divided by bottom. So 17 divided by 25. Now when you use your calculator, you get 0.68. So 68 hundredths. And then to change that to a percent, super simple. Just move over the decimal 2 places, and now you got 68%. The decimal's there. If you want to write it there, go ahead. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Okay, for the next example here, we have 8 hundredths. For number 5, we have 6%. And for number 6, we have 125 thousandths. So go ahead and try those out on your own, those last 3. So try number 4, 5, and 6 on your own. See how you do. Unpause the video when you're ready, and check your work. Okay, so that does it, everybody. There's a lot covered in this video. I went kind of fast through it because I had to keep under 15 minutes. So please, bring any questions to class you have tomorrow, and we'll get through this. But if you didn't understand it, please let me know, and I'll help you out tomorrow. Everyone have a good night. See you tomorrow.